Welcome back to Nerd News Today. I'm Matthew. In this episode, we have another Diamond Select PVC statue review to take a look at. And this one here, this is one I cannot believe someone has actually made. And I mean that in the best way possible. So I think about a year or two on the channel, I took a look at a few pieces that Diamond Select has made about Bruce Lee. And that included a whole line of statues and action figures, along with some Vinnie-Mates and some other deforms figures, a bunch of different things here. And the Bruce Lee franchise has done pretty well for them, and it's still going now. They've actually just teased the next statue in that series, which is looking actually very nice. So it makes perfect sense here that Diamond would continue to look for other martial artists who have movie careers that they can do some different things with. And lo and behold, they found it, and really this might be like the perfect marriage ever for toys and martial artists, because wow, I can't believe today what I'm saying. We're looking at the Diamond Select Jean Claude Van Damme statue. Sorry, wait, huh? So the Jean Claude Van Damme line was teased a little while ago, and we finally saw some of the pieces in person at New York Comic Con 2022. So, by the way, if you guys want to take a look at that video, you'll see all sorts of other things that Diamond announced. There was some really great stuff this year. But Jean Claude Van Damme is what really got my attention. And I can't believe they're doing Jean Claude Van Damme, but this is kind of perfect in so many ways. And not only are we looking at JCVD here, we've got him from Bloodsport. And this is like one of the best Jean Claude movies he ever made, in my opinion. I don't own a lot of Jean Claude movies. I'm more of a Jackie Chan kind of guy in that family of martial artists. But, as far as Jean Claude Van Damme goes, for me, Bloodsport will always be #1. And yeah, this is like honoring one of the coolest looking outfits, one of the coolest looking moments from the film. Man, I can't believe they're doing this still. My mind is still blown. So while I try and get myself back together, let's talk about this packaging real quickly here. And this is the same packaging you get with any Diamond Select PVC figure diorama statue. And that is basically a big old rectangle with a lot of open windows. So you've got a great window here in the front, you've got a window here on the side, you also got this one on the opposite side, and as always, Diamond Select gives you that handy dandy Diamond Select sunroof so that Jean Claude can get a tan. Having this window display is awesome because it lets you see this thing from every angle before you pick him up for purchase if you're buying him in a store. Or even if you're getting him from another place like Amazon or somewhere else, it gives you a chance to look at him before you open him up and before you basically have a harder time returning it. Which, by the way, I'm going to have Amazon affiliate links in the description below for this video, so if you want to pick him up, that's the best way to do it. The back of the packaging here has a bio about Jean Claude Van Damme. Nothing to say about Bloodsport, really nothing to say about Kickboxer or any of the movies that we might be seeing merchandise from here, but we do have a very nice, pretty detailed bio about who he is, in case you didn't know his history and his background. The back of the packaging also has credits for who made this piece. And that includes that this was designed by Eamon O'Donoghue and sculpted by Rocco Tardamella. Those names are no strangers to this channel and no strangers to Diamond Select statues, so they do some good work. And from what I can already see just from kind of glancing at it from inside the packaging here, it looks like this is no slouch either. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at this Jean Claude Van Damme from all angles. And here he is making his debut. We have our Jean Claude Van Damme statue here. Whew, wow, okay, I'm pretty impressed already. Let's do a quick rotation here just so you guys can see everything about this statue. And I do want to make a quick point before I get any further into this review as well. So you guys can see right now as it rotates, this nice little gong over here. Yes, it is hanging and dangling separately. It is not just a flat mold or anything or a flat piece of plastic. It is in fact connected by some chains. But I want to mention that when you get this guy and you take him out of the packaging, be very careful because it is held together by these chains, and there is a separate compartment to keep this guy firm and basically to prevent it from just dangling back and forth in the box and annoying you for the rest of your life. So when you do get this guy home and you want to take him out of the box, do it very, very gently and make sure that you put your hands on this part separately to pop it out. Otherwise, if you try and just yank the statue out of the plastic tray it's in, it's going to probably break off, and you don't want that to happen because that pretty much ruins the piece. So yeah, that is our quick rotation here. Let's now go ahead and get into some of the details here. And first things first, does this awesome kicking pose statue of Jean Claude Van Damme look like Jean Claude Van Damme? Let's get a close up of that face here. And I'm gonna say, yeah, totally does. I'm actually really impressed by this likeness here. It's a little awkward to try and show you guys just because of the stance that the whole body is in. But oh no, from that pose right there, that angle, that's it, that's him. Wow. So one of my complaints about the Bruce Lee pieces in the past was sometimes the likenesses, they just didn't feel like they were quite there for me, especially with the action figures. I hate to say it, but I was not a fan of the heads on those. They just didn't look like him. The statues were definitely better, but the action figures didn't do it for me. But this Jean Claude statue, oh man, they nailed it. I mean, I'd say maybe the one thing is it almost looks like a little bit like it is an older version of Jean Claude Van Damme from what it is, but it's also kind of hard to say that because it does look young, but because he is such like a gaunt kind of guy, very muscular person, his face has so little body fat that it causes his cheekbones to kind of stand out maybe a little bit more than the average person would, so that might age him up a little bit, but as far as likeness goes, I mean, this is totally the muscles from Brussels. This is absolutely Jean Claude Van Damme. Wow. Wow, yeah, no, I can't get over how good that looks. That is just like perfect Jean Claude Van Damme face right there. They got this. This is JCVD. No denying it right there. Wow, great job. Knockout work on that head sculpt. Knockout's a great choice, I think, for this review, right? So as we stretch out, we'll see now some of the body, and I said the word stretching because Freudian slip, I guess, because look at this guy go. He is showing off his like massive flexibility. That's the signature Jean Claude Van Damme flexibility right there. That's what kind of got him, I feel like, on the map more than anything else. I mean, look at this kick. I mean, this is such an iconic moment for Jean Claude and such an iconic pose. Same thing here too. I think the body is perfectly accurate to the real life Jean Claude from this era. I mean, yeah, no, he had this kind of body. It looks really good. And likewise, the anatomy for everything here, the pose, I mean, that's just, they nailed it. I can't really say anything bad about it because they nailed it. They got this down right. Like everything about the way he kicked, the way it would be extended, the muscles in the leg as well. I mean, this is just, yeah, this is perfect. No, words don't really express it, but this is what I've been waiting for. Like, I can't believe I've ever been waiting for a Jean Claude statue, but this is it. Like, this is the one to get. I don't see how they top this besides making it out of resin and spending more money on it so they could add more details to it. But, you know, this is him doing his signature kick high up in the air, looking great. Let's spend some time also talking about paint and things like that here, because overall, you know, I can't say that there's anything wrong with the paint. I mean, it's a very simple paint job on him. We're basically talking a few tones here. We got a flesh color here. We've got black, which is whatever, yellow sash, his hair. That's it. That's pretty much the paint. Nothing really to worry about there. And yeah, like, you know, there is, let's see, a little bit of schmutz there, but that's just excess paint. So quite often that happens with the flesh paint because it is like kind of a thick, flakier paint. It will flake off onto your statue. Typically, you can just rub it off. I mean, that I think I can just wet and it'll probably go away completely. But there was a little bit of schmutz there. Otherwise, though, I mean, I'm not seeing any spillage or leakage anywhere else or any drippage happening across this thing. So very clean paint job, makes me really happy. Yeah, okay, there was like a little bit of hair, which might have been my hair actually. That was on his pectoral. But yeah, that came off real easy. So whatever it was, not a problem. But man, this is just a perfect looking Jean Claude Van Damme. Can't get over that. Let's go down a little bit and take a look at his other foot and also start talking about the base, because this is, again, I believe meant to be from Bloodsport, even though they're not specifically stating it on the packaging. But yeah, this is from Bloodsport. This is sort of at least alluding to it. So this would be some blood on the mats, which it's kind of weird that it's all over where he is, but yeah, there's some blood on the mats there, dripping there. You could say it's from his brother or his cousin or his friend or whoever he's seeking vengeance for. But yeah, I like that touch, and it does add a lot of nice color to the piece, literally and figuratively. And as we scroll up, we see that gong again. And this is the Eastern-looking gong behind him, which is so cool. I'm actually really happy that they made it into a separate piece, because that's, you know, something they showed off at New York Comic Con. That was the first time I saw the piece. And it had the gong, and the gong had actually fallen off of it. So that was a different material. It was, you know, the actual handmade prototype. This is how it came out in production. I think we need to spend some time looking at it from behind, because it's really the easier way to see it. But yeah, I mean, it's basically got actual chains on it, which I think adds a lot to the piece, not just for preserving it, but also just the story of the piece and having that metal there to really kind of like have something to shine and play with. I like the texture also on this gong from behind. You can see there's a lot of nice, like, rough texture that makes it feel pretty realistic, in my opinion, too. You know, how I think a gong would look from behind. Last time I've seen one, I mean, it's pretty much like that. I also like the paint job, especially on this wooden section here. Like, it looks like it's rough wood, and I don't know how well it translates. Let me get a little bit closer in here, but yeah, you guys can see, like, it looks like it's actual wood texture. That's just painting. That's just paint job on this, or whatever it is, if it's a decal or something, I don't know, but, you know, there is a little bit of rough texture on it, and the material is, you know, slightly different, I think, but, you know, mostly just hollow injection molded plastic. So it's really all about the paint job here, and the paint job is just fooling me so well, because it looks like it is actually wood. I don't know how it looks for you guys, but as far as I can tell on camera, like, that just looks like it's real authentic wood, and it's not. This is just a wonderful base that they added to this character here. And there's also a little thing to hit the gong with, which does not come off, by the way, unfortunately, but it is there, and it's nice that they added that. I mean, they didn't need to add that. They could have just kept this real easy and simple and not included that piece, but they did. They painted it up and everything, so it's there. And wow, just like, what an amazing looking piece. I gotta tell you guys, like, I'm really, really excited about this piece, because I never knew I wanted a Jean Claude Van Damme piece until they revealed it. And once they started to show this thing off, I was like, well, man, I gotta have that in my collection, because yeah, I'm a big Jean Claude Van Damme fan. I'm a big action movie fan. I think a lot of us are out there. But there really is, like, so little merchandise for these kinds of folks out there. So this absolutely fills a void that really, I think, needed to be filled a long time ago. You know, Jean Claude Van Damme, as far as like toys go, the only thing I could think of that he had was like his G.I. Joe Street Fighter, the movie action figures. And those were pretty much hot garbage. I don't think there's been much else beyond that. So this is a great collectible, great way to commemorate this actor, this martial artist. And it's just an astounding looking piece. I mean, again, I can't get over how good this kick looks. I appreciate the verticality of this piece here. I mean, design-wise, it's very simple. I mean, it's basically, you know, Jean Claude is a very vertically oriented character in this piece here. So luckily the gong here has all these horizontal lines to help center him. Same thing with this too. You know, it's all about just kind of centering the piece into the action. And that's what we get here. We get this iconic Jean Claude Van Damme kick. It just looks perfect. Like, this is the ideal Jean Claude Van Damme pose and the ideal Jean Claude Van Damme statue. Now, there is also going to be an action figure coming from Diamond very soon. I don't know the release date, but I'm sure we'll be looking at that whenever it comes out. So yeah, there is at least going to be a little bit more of Jean Claude Van Damme. I don't know how far they're going to keep it going, how long it's going to extend, much like Jean Claude's kicks. But again, the important thing here to recognize is that there are plans for more releases of Jean Claude stuff, and especially if it sells well, I think they could probably keep this going for a little bit longer. So if you've been waiting like I have for a Jean Claude Van Damme statue, this is it. Get this. Like, no denying. I mean, if you're a martial artist as well, this is perfect. Like, even just as a generic martial arts statue, you can't top this. Especially for the price point too, because I mean, just, yeah, no, this is like a $50, $60 piece. It is just gorgeous looking. Yeah, no, cannot get over this. So I highly recommend this. This is like a perfect grade for me as far as statues go. Definitely pick this one up. Speaking of, if you'd like to get this Jean Claude Van Damme statue for your collection, check out my Amazon affiliate links in the description below. If you click on those links and make any purchases, whether it's this toy or something else, it helps support this YouTube channel at no extra cost to you. So I hope you'll consider that this holiday season, and really, like, this is an amazing piece. Not even if it's just for Jean Claude Van Damme, but just in general, like, I really dig this piece a lot. It's a great counterpiece to one of those Bruce Lee pieces that they've done also. Maybe one of these days they'll do some other martial artists too. We'll see how this goes, but as far as Jean Claude goes, like, wow, this is it. This is the one. So thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned to this channel for more action figure reviews, statue reviews, and everything else we do here on Nerd News Today. See you guys later.